You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. This is episode number 110 and is the On the Road edition. Joining me is Butters. How you doing, Butters?
Good, mate.
Good. We are in Texas. We're specifically between Austin and College Station. But enough about where we are now. We've been in the US for nearly 2 weeks.
2 weeks today.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And we have not yet done an update on what's been going on. So we need to wind back that clock and go back to your first impressions of the USA, mate.
It's different, but the same at the same time.
You have to pad that one out a little bit further.
I don't know how to explain that. That's my best explanation. It's the same, but different.
I guess there's nothing particularly foreign about looking at it from a just like what we're doing now, seeing the road, and it all looks about normal. But just there's that little things.
Yeah.
Different brands.
Different cars.
Different side of the road.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. So we landed in Arizona and was picked up by Matt from Phoenix Airport and then taken straight out after 30-odd hours of travel, straight out to Cowtown Range to set up targets.
Yeah, set up targets. With all the cacti.
Yeah, we end up with a few of them in places that weren't meant to go.
Yeah, they sucked. That was good. And then we went home to the Milkoviches, and they were nice enough to look after us.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the next day we went out and shot a match, which you did very well in. Number 7 out of 80 people.
Only a couple of points behind first as well, which
I
was pretty happy with.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, mate. Yeah. We just saw a cow pissing.
Had to look.
And that was a good fun match. You were squatted with Tim as your squad mum.
Yep, squatted with Tim.
Yep.
He was nice enough to let me use his rifle.
Yep.
I can't remember what it was. I think it was Surgeon Action. Surgeon Action
in a 6XC.
Yeah, nice little rifle.
Oh, absolutely.
Shot pretty straight. Trigger was a bit light for me to what I'm used to, but oh well. And there's a couple of good shooters. A couple of really good shooters there. Made me take notes on what I need to learn.
Yeah, who was the bloke in your squad that was smashing everything?
His name was Butters. No.
No, the one that was hitting everything.
Keith Fungus Face.
Sure, he appreciates that. Sorry, Keith, if you're listening.
No, where was he?
You could have just gone with Keith and gone with it confidently, mate, and that would have been fine. Oh no. Yeah, bloody Keith, he was bloody ripping.
No, he's lucky I remember his name. I'm terrible with names.
This is true.
No, he shot really well. I think I was trying to compete against him just in our squad the whole time, and he'd get one up on me, and then I'd get one up on him, and so forth. But I think he topped me by a point in the end.
Yeah, right. Good on you, Keith. That's the way, mate. Good job. Good job. You can shoot in Darwin any time. I was squatted in Regina's squad, and unfortunately Regina and Tim didn't shoot. There was just so many people. They designated themselves as squad mums and ran everyone through it.
Yeah, so we had 79 shooters all up. I think there was one fella that got DQ'd and didn't end up shooting.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. That explains it. And so I had a couple of Nico was in my squad, and he was exceptionally helpful. So, and he was a good shooter as well. He did very well. But yeah, it was a good day. Interesting range. Unique to set your targets up. Bit of a pain in the ass, really. But the range was beautiful to shoot on, and it ran smooth. 80 shooters, and we were done by 8 stages, and we were done by about 2:30.
It might have been a bit earlier.
It probably was. Yeah. By the time we pulled targets down and
Yeah.
and did all that sort of gear.
By the time we'd all packed up, it was 2:30.
Then we went to the Wild Horse Burger Joint, or whatever it's called. That was pretty good.
Middle of nowhere.
Absolute middle of nowhere. There's a huge big burger joint there, full of people. It was pretty good, and I ate someone else's burger accidentally, and then had to eat mine as well.
You were full.
I cleaned up. I haven't eaten since. That was good. What else been going on then? I
can't remember. What did we do?
It's so long ago.
Yeah. And then we drove down to Vegas with Regina. That was a few hours drive, but
that was good.
Pretty much in desert the whole time.
Yeah, but very different, Cactuses everywhere. Cacti. Cactopolis. There was a lot of cactuses.
Loads. There's a big ass squirrel there.
That is a big squirrel.
Go and touch it.
That's a very, very big squirrel.
Go and touch his nut.
The one he's holding, or the...
He's only got one.
So that's a female squirrel.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we drove down to Vegas in anticipation of SHOT Show.
And in the car park of our little dodgy motel, which we'll get onto in a moment, there was a poor drunken Canadian lying there.
Yeah, bloody Acker.
Dave Acker, who was chilling with us for the week. So that was good. And then, what do you want to tell them about Stabsville?
Oh, Stabsville. It's pretty much standard accommodation in rural Australia, in the middle of Vegas.
right on the strip.
Yeah. She was a bit rough, but it had a bed and a door.
Yeah, certainly got that right. No, it was pretty terrible. But it was on the strip, it was cheap, and it wasn't far away from anywhere.
We got into town. Big eye-opener, that bloody town, I tell you what.
Yeah, we hadn't been there before, eh?
No.
So, Vegas is certainly a unique place.
Yes.
What were you... is that all you can say about it?
Pretty much.
What spun you out about it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you...
It was like a really up-class version of Red Light District in, like, Thailand or something.
Okay.
It's the best explanation I could think of.
Yeah, with lots of... novelty factor. I think just to me it feels like you see those movie sets, particularly old westerns, where they're sort of all there's like this row of buildings that are all built up to look amazing.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much just propped up from the back.
Yeah, that was pretty much Vegas. It turns to shit pretty bloody quickly.
Yeah.
Out the back.
Well, we ended up out the back of the MGM somehow. We went out the wrong door, and it was ghost town.
Yeah.
And it wasn't great.
Pretty much got lost.
Yeah, and then so it was good. Vegas SHOT Show. Any thoughts on SHOT Show?
That was full on.
Big.
It was huge. We got pretty knackered by the end of it.
Oh yeah, first day we were pretty knackered.
Yeah.
Speaking of knackered, and Acker got pretty knackered on the first night.
Didn't he? Didn't he ever?
And there's some videos floating around of that. That's good fun. Yep. You're able to throw things at a Canadian and have it hit him in the head without him waking up at all. Is a very interesting state to be in.
We did check if he was alive.
We did check for a pulse.
He was breathing.
Couldn't find one, so we kept going.
Yeah. CPR via shoes thrown.
Yeah, SHOT. We spent pretty much all 4 days at SHOT. Oh no, even before that, range day. What a success range day was.
Or not.
How'd you enjoy range day?
It was freezing. You can beat that out.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was freezing. And we got out there. We went out there with, look, big thanks to Danny and Tony at Delta Tactical for organising range day passes for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Certainly appreciate the thought.
Yeah, we got out there, middle of the desert again. It was
and 40... like proper middle of the desert, like driving along thinking there are so many bodies buried here.
Yeah. What was it, 45 minute drive. We get out there, windy as buggery, and sign in, and last shot was fired as we basically got there. They had to shut the range down because, for insurance reasons, they couldn't get a medical chopper in just in case something happened.
I reckon it's because these Australians rocked up and wanted to shoot all the guns with all the ammo, and they didn't have enough ammo.
Yeah, if they hadn't stopped then, they would have stopped in half an hour.
They would have been forced to stop for lack of ammo. Anyway, so it was a bit disappointing range day, but we went to one at least. We got a T-shirt.
Yeah, you got a T-shirt. Saw a couple of things. We had that
Oh, yeah, we did, actually.
I was having a look at the target system, and then Danny
Yep.
was interested in this rifle that...
AccuTac.
Yeah, he was having a good look at that rifle.
Yeah,
It
got
was,
the video of
it
that.
was interesting.
Yeah, and so we headed back from there, and then, into shot. So give us, I mean, you said it was big. Anything at shot that you saw that was unique, you liked?
It was basically just cool looking at all the firearms and weapons that you generally don't see in person back home, especially all the ARs and the just semi-automatics and all that sort of stuff.
Well, you had quite an, play computer game. I don't know what games they are, but anyway, you play computer games. You're talking about the guns you use and how it was cool to actually see them.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them in person.
Yep.
Even looking at videos and online and whatnot just doesn't give justice to how they feel and how heavy they weigh and how they feel in general. And that was nice to get some hands on with those.
And speaking of gun videos, you met Gun Jesus.
Yes.
For those not familiar with Gun Jesus, who is that?
Is it Ian McCollum with Forgotten Weapons? He's in a bit of a hurry, but I got a photo. Bragging rights are there.
Yeah, no, I could see that in his face. He was off, and you're like, "Oh, I can grab a photo." He's like, "Yeah, all right, do it quick."
Yeah, no, he's pretty good, pretty cool fella.
Yeah, we passed him a few other times actually. There would have been an opportunity later on. Yeah, we met quite a few people actually, just wandering the aisles.
We met a few people, a shitload of people involved with the PRS, which is good to put. Well, not so much faces to name, but
handshakes
to meet them in person was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was sensational. So we half based ourselves out the Macmillan stand because that's where Regina was,
Yeah,
and
it was like second home.
yeah, met a bunch of crew there. Probably one of the biggest larrikins I think we met was Gary Larson from Guardian Long Range.
Yeah, he was pretty cool, that fella.
Tell you what, so we met him in a bar somewhere on the night before shot, and clearly we made an impression on him. But I think the feeling was mutual. He's a good bloke. He knows how to tell a story. Tell you that. Knows how to make an exciting story. And we end up out at dinner with him. Was the next night or the day after? I can't. It all blurs. But him and the guys from John from 8541 Tactical and Sarah as well.
Yep.
And all the Guardian guys, and yeah, no, that was a good night at Strip Burger, which is on the strip, not the other meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much every place has their own bloody friggin' burger restaurant or version of.
Yeah, Wahlburger as well.
Wahlburger,
2 years ago, we got told not to go to Wahlburger because it was terrible. And I don't know who gave us that advice, but if you're listening, nah, you're wrong. We went there this time based on advice that it was good, and it was good. Yeah, it was good.
They're all pretty much the same, really.
Yeah, I think I've had a couple very average ones over here, which I'm trying to avoid. Won't go near those places again. But and then speaking of food, that deep dish pizza you cranked, how was that?
Filling.
Yeah,
It's huge.
we got like a medium that filled 3 of us, and we still had a piece left over.
It's probably 2 inches thick.
Easily. Yeah, it was full on. So Shot's been an exciting adventure. Is different to a couple of years ago. You know, we were first meeting people and all that sort of gear, and this time round we were out to dinner all the time with people, and they were very, very well looked after to have so many people to hang out with and invites to go and eat and drink and do all these sort of things. So that was really cool to actually spend some time with people, getting to know them rather than just seeing them at the show briefly.
Yeah.
Certainly, we got taken care of, which is very, very kind. We were going to be hanging out with Dave Acker a fair bit, but he ditched us. He just kept finding people with corporate cards and kept going out with them, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a bit loose, that fella. I think on the last 2 nights he hung out with us because
they ran out of corporate card money.
The corporate card was done.
So it was good, and gun stuff as well. There was some cool stuff from MPA. There was a bunch. There's a big movement towards adjustable weight systems in chassis. We covered
Yeah.
a bunch of chassis actually.
Yeah, I think we got videos. There's a heap of posts on
Yeah.
on the NTPR page of just photos and stuff so far. But yeah, a lot of removable and adjustable weights, especially in the MPA and the MDT
And the
chassis.
XLR.
And the XLR,
And
yep.
the KRG, I think.
So yeah, XLR was interesting. It had, I don't know how they'll get this in country, but they've got the old school mercury recoil reducers installed into the tube of the buttstock.
So yeah, that was interesting to see when I saw Zero Compromise Optics. They made some cool stuff.
Yeah, yep.
That was interesting. They were very brief there, but we are hoping that we're hands-on with some of their scopes in the next week as well. What else stood out for you, mate? We've got to talk about that new A10, I guess, from Macmillan.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty cool little stuff.
Yeah, so Regina's had a fair hand in helping design the new A10 stock by Macmillan. I think basically it's very similar to an A6 profile, except they've made the forend a bit skinnier. They've brought the pistol grip or the grip, built it forward a little bit, and the action inlet slight, I think about half an inch rearward.
Yeah.
And the idea for that is for people with smaller hands and whatnot will be able to get a much better and more consistent grip on the rifle stock. And I think they were pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, they certainly talked about it being sort of more favoured towards women and children, but they were surprised at how many guys really liked it when playing with it at the stand. So who knows? That could be a really successful option for them.
Yeah.
Had a look at Jake Vibbett's new reticle and the US Optics stand. You weren't there for when he was giving
I think I saw it briefly, but that was about it. But
no, it looks pretty cool. Worth checking out. We did manage to speak to Jake a couple of times. Tall bloke. Changes hats a lot, we noticed.
changes clothes in general a lot.
Yeah, I guess he's got to go around to all his sponsors throughout the day and has set times on set stands and changes accordingly. But the other thing that was fairly promoted at the event was the new Daniel Defence rifle. Can't remember the name of it, Alpha 5 or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, what was your take on it?
For what they're marketing it for?
Right. No need to beat around the bush.
They're trying to market it as a PRS rifle, but it's clunky. Like you expect someone aiming for PRS, the bolt's going to be at least smooth, and then certain other features. This one, for instance, Rusty was doing a little video and asked me to rack the bolt, so I did. And I tried to do it as smooth as I can, and he goes, "Can you try and do it smoother?"
Yeah.
It just seemed to hang up a lot. I don't know whether if it's just... I don't think it's just being a brand new rifle. I think it is just a bit of a clunky bolt. But they do try and promote that it will shoot half a minute groups with every ammo.
No, they don't.
Every factory ammo?
They said that. They don't promote that. They won't.
Oh, they said it. Okay.
They said that's what actually happened, but they're not going to promote that because, of course, then someone will prove them wrong with some ammo somewhere. But yeah, they won't print that.
Well, regardless, it's supposedly meant to be a pretty accurate rifle, but I think it's better suited for hunting rather than PRS.
What makes you think it's better suited for hunting?
Just you can't work that gun quickly.
Yep.
The magazine. Oh fuck! Where was the magazine? I can't even remember where the mag release was, but it just
the mag release was good. That was just the push forward on the bottom of the mag well. I think
that might have been the only decent part, but I don't know. I wasn't sold on it. They had this massive booth for it, and it's all hammer forged. I think someone was saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I because we went and had a little look about it, and we didn't know much about it, And then I went back and actually did an interview with the guys, and hearing a lot more about what the concept of it and the design behind it. It made more sense. We said when we first played with it, it really comes down to what the price is going to be.
Yeah, and I think
it retails in the US was $2,200 or thereabouts, which puts it above, as far as I'm aware, puts it above production spec for PRS, which is by $200, which is a shame. I really think that
people won't buy that to shoot in open class. And the bit of a bugger as well is if people want to shoot it in production in Australia, it's going to be too much to put any type of half decent optic on it, because by the time you import it and GST, it's going to be
$3,850.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty high.
Yeah, you $1,100, $1,200 worth of $1,100 worth of optics left. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. They do look good. There's elements of them that are quite nice. I like the feel of them, but there's a couple of little hang-ups with them. But then again, it's the first bolt gun we've seen from Daniel Defence, so perhaps in further reiterations they come good with it.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
That's right. So the other one that's in that same category is Badrock rifles.
Yeah, they offshoot from Defiance, basically.
Yeah. And I heard a little bit about them, but they weren't around 2 years ago last time I went. So it was cool having a little play with those. Now they're a sub $2,000 rifle over there, and so they tick the production thing because they come out of Defiance with their appropriate setup.
Yeah, so the Badrock Actions, they're essentially unpolished Defiances, really.
Yeah.
In a sense.
In an MDT chassis.
Yeah. Those rifles I was much more impressed with over the Daniel Defence. But it'd be interesting to see if anyone picks them up for shooting over here in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything optics that caught your fancy?
I had a good look at the Nightforce Mil XT reticle. That one looks all right.
Yep.
I think it's a Mil C cross with a H59.
Okay.
It's got me interested. I don't know if I'll buy a scope with one yet. I'm not. That's to be decided.
Time will tell.
Yeah, probably will end up one. Otherwise, optics. I had a look at the Schmidt and Benders, but they really haven't. I think they had a new reticle that looked pretty good. I forget the names.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That looked alright.
But it was like a proper competition reticle. But otherwise, the scopes themselves generally haven't changed. They were the benchmark for a fair while, but everyone else seems to have caught up now. I didn't really check out too many other optics. There hasn't been a huge amount other than the zero compromise optics. I
was meaning to check out the Burris 3, but I didn't get a chance to go and look at that at the show. US Optics and Primary Arms. I had a look at them.
I didn't see them.
Yeah, they're interesting. Should be coming through in Australia in the next couple of months a little bit more. But yeah, Primary Arms look interesting. I remember Rex T-War talking about those.
Oh yeah.
And he was he's certainly a big fan of them. But I think there's a gun shop
in a shed.
Dan's Guns and Stuff. Tempted to have checked that out, but we've gone past it now.
It's a bit scabby.
Speaking of scabby, Accuracy International, they had a new rifle there.
I had a tender out for the ASR tender. So they're what they try to put forward for that tender. Basically, they worked on the AXMC and almost rebuilt it. I think the only thing that hadn't changed was the very rear of the buttstock, really.
Okay.
The bolt was new, no more stock sides, new trigger, 2-position safety that wasn't on the bolt, M-lock forend with the the Arca rail built into it, new rear end. What else did they have? Nearly everything was rebuilt. It looks very similar to the old AXMCs, but almost everything had been reworked.
Okay.
Now they're only going to sell 100 of those, I think in the US only.
Oh, right, okay.
But I have been told that a lot of those changes won't continue on with the new AXMCs.
Yep.
Specifically, like the safety will go back onto the bolt for the newer models, and the M-Lock forend, I believe, won't be continuing either. They'll go back to the key mod slots. Other than that, I haven't heard too much about what else they'll continue on with. But otherwise, it looked pretty cool. I wasn't completely sold on it, but for certain changes. But I did feel on one of the Mile High had one of the competition triggers for the AIs.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
They were really nice. Much lighter than the factory AI triggers, but they felt just as nice, if not nicer.
We did play a little bit with the Diamond Tech. No, Trigger Tech Diamond.
Yeah, I smell it.
I can smell a fire, and we've seen flashing lights going everywhere. Wondering if something's going. Can't see any big smoke, though. Anyway. Trigger Tech, that's where we're up to. Trigger Tech Diamond. Do you like those Trigger Tech triggers?
Yeah, they felt like triggers. Oh, good triggers, but they did had some nice single stages set to various weights, and they did have some prototype 2-stage triggers there as well.
Yeah. For all you nut jobs that like your 2-stage triggers.
Yeah, they're all pretty nice in general.
Magneto Speed had a couple of cool little options. I don't know if the listeners have seen the rifle cools, or however you pronounce it, that have been sort of floating around with a few shooters.
Yeah, think of a little chamber flag that inserts the action and then blows a little fan down the bore of your gun and filtered air, so you're not just filling it full of dust.
Yep.
But yeah, just in an attempt to just cool the bore down handier for those wanting to do load development or bench rest shooters, or just trying to cool their rifle down.
That was good to see. And they had the new T250s, I reckon they're called. And they're like little indicators, yeah, sort of like the T1000 in a way, but they sit on the back of the target, designed mostly for pistol sort of gear, and they play little games, so you can, one will flash and you've got to shoot that one, and different ones will flash different colours.
All pretty highly customisable too.
Yeah, it was good. So lots of product. A little bit less filming I did this time. I had a few more meetings to go to, not as many interviews, but yeah, some good things will come out of those, which is exciting. And you got to wander a fair bit, which was nice.
Yeah.
Saw all your cool stuff.
Yeah, Rusty was boring having to go to meetings, so I went and touched all the nice things, made sure I was washing my hands so I don't get the SHOT Show bloody crud and virus.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
The HIV, people call it.
Yeah, SHOT Show HIV. Hand sanitizer was everywhere. Everywhere. We had some as well. It's pretty critical. Yeah, and then of course, after the days, you've got dinners and bits and pieces. So we got toured all up and down the strip, bloody seeing all these things. I think one of the most, I don't know the appropriate word to use without offending several people at once, ludicrous things we saw in one of the restaurants was a guy ordered a shake, stick shake, and the shake came out, and around the edge of the glass it was just stuck on this white chocolate with sprinkles all there.
White chocolate icing with sprinkles all through it.
And that was like the top maybe nearly inch of the glass all the way around. And that seemed, pretty excessive already. But then on top of that, it had a bloody piece of cake.
And a big ass bit of cake too.
Huge big bit of cake. It was a shaken cake.
With even more icing and lollies and sprinkles.
Old mate bloody looked at us and said, "You want some?" No way. That looks like diabetes in a glass.
Oof, I've got diabetes looking at it.
Yeah, it was an interesting challenge to try and not gain too much weight while we were out. But we did cover some Ks, walking. It was about 15 Ks a day that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Easily. And And we could have done more if we didn't Uber back and forth to Stabsville.
Yeah.
It was really good. Heaps of Australians over here we met.
Did
we
we?
were at the... What? Yeah, certainly.
Who?
Well, I remember one I was at the MPA stand after we did some filming with Phil.
Oh, that's right. He was asking.
And bloody old mate was asking where to get them and who... And the guy goes, oh, there's one bloke, and he couldn't remember his name of him. And so I sort of went, hey, the guys in Australia who do MPAs, and told them who they all were and where they were and how to contact with them. There was a lot of Australians, let's put it that way. I kept walking past people and hearing their accent.
Yeah, you pick them.
Nod. Yeah, it was good. Speaking of picking accents, there was a much higher success rate of Uber drivers picking our accent this time than 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we'd get into the Uber and ask, where do you think we come from? And they would give us all sorts of stuff. We had England and Ireland and South Africa and all sorts of... But the most odd one was New York. Someone thought we were from New York. But this time, we had a few guys guess Australia first up, which is impressive.
Did we?
Yeah. A couple of them had lived in Australia or had Australian wives or whatever, so they kind of cheated. But anyway, it's still
they
counted.
don't count.
So after shot, as a bit of a relaxation...
We needed it.
Well, yeah, we did. We didn't do much on the Saturday. You went for a wander and I think I'd... Oh yeah, we should mention the video side of things. So we've had some dramas with the video aspect. So I spent a full day, that particular Saturday, I spent pretty much all day working on that video and working on several videos and trying to get them all to spec. And then due to some level of accident that I'm going to blame on you the next day, my hard drive corrupted and I lost all the edit files. Unfortunately enough, recovered all the actual footage.
Someone left a bag open.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But the actual edit files that save what clips go where and such, they are no more. They are no... Whoa,
hey,
there's some bison. Look at that. Bloody bison everywhere.
They're not that big.
No, they're not.
Like cows. Weird-looking cows.
Slightly disappointed now. Let's turn back. We're done.
Dunskies.
So